This is a story of a land scarred by the violence of Earth's ancient history. From rugged mountains to dry desert sand. And from salt water to salt pan. Is the Namib the most extreme place on Earth? Namibia is like a time machine. The Earth's dramatic history is etched into its landscapes. As we travel this land, we can see where continents were built and then cracked in half. Where mountains were formed and then dissolved into sand. And at the center of it all is the mighty Namib Desert, with its towering dunes. It spills its sands right along the skeleton coast, head-to-head with another extreme environment, forcing life to adapt to some of the driest, saltiest, and hottest places on Earth. Is Namibia the most hostile place in Africa? And what has caused this land of extremes to be such a living hell? Along the west coast of southern Africa lies Namibia, one of the continent's driest countries. The Namib is the world's oldest desert. Over millennia, mountains have been worn down to sand. And here, they're remolded into towering 300-meter peaks. These are the highest sand dunes on Earth. What has sculpted these natural wonders? For 80 million years, this huge sea of dunes has been shaped and shifted by winds from the Atlantic Ocean. The ground can become scorching hot during the day, reaching temperatures of over 65 degrees Celsius. But at night, they plummet to below freezing. And it's a graveyard. Why are these bizarre 1,000-year-old tree skeletons here? The dead vley was formed when the nearby Tsauchab River flooded. The river ran just long enough for these camel thorn trees to take root. When the water disappeared, the trees died. Over hundreds of years, the burning sun has scorched the dead wood. And it's too dry for it to rot. Their skeletons are a reminder of a time when water brought life to this barren place. All around the dead vley, a sea of sand stretches as far as the eye can see. These colossal dunes line the Atlantic Ocean for over 1,600 kilometers. But around the Namib's fringe, highly specialized animals have carved a niche for themselves, including one of Africa's most iconic big cats, the cheetah. More cheetahs are found in Namibia than anywhere else in the world. These three hunters are brothers. Cheetahs often live alone, but by working as a team, they can bring down bigger prey. Adapted for high-speed chases, they're well suited to Namibia's vast open landscapes. The brothers spot a small group of wildebeest. These are ideal cheetah hunting grounds. The open savanna provides enough cover to stalk prey undetected. A lean body, massive lung capacity, small head and long legs means cheetahs are built for speed. But they can only sustain their record-breaking sprints for about 300 meters. So they need to creep as close as possible. One of the brothers launches an attack. Faced with the wildebeest's horns, it's safer to abort this attempt. He kills quickly by cutting off the air supply with a vice-like grip. The kill is shared between the band of brothers. By drinking their prey's blood and urine, they'll be able to go for over 4 days without water. Cheetahs have prowled Namibia's landscapes in search of prey for thousands of years. Their existence is documented in the ancient Bushman rock art at Twyfelfontein, to the north of the Namib Desert. These mysterious pictures allow a glimpse into the lives of people who managed to survive in this hostile place over 10,000 years ago. Even today, people still manage to live here in this driest of lands. Their success relies on embracing the parched red earth. The Himba people have lived in this punishing corner of Africa for thousands of years. And like the cheetah, they've learned to live life without water. The Himba never wash. Instead, they use dust to scour clean their hands. And each morning, their bodies and clothes are purified with the sweet-smelling smoke of smoldering herbs. How are they able to live in harmony with this harsh land? Their secret lies in the earth itself. Every day, the women mix powdered red ochre with oily butterfat. The red color symbolizes blood and life. and the thick paste cools and protects their skin and hair. The heat of the land makes the need for clothes redundant. These women wear beaded jewelry to cover their ankles, a private part of the body which indicates their marriage status. But it's also very practical and protects them from the bites of venomous snakes hiding among the desert rocks. Life in this vicious land is hard. But the brutal environment is one of the keys to the Himba's success. Other tribes stay clear of this harsh terrain, and it's this isolation that has helped the Himba to keep their traditional way of life intact. Himba means aardvark, and these people are named for their ways of digging up wild foods from the ground, just like their namesake. Survival in the desert has led to a complex social network. Every Himba is a member of two separate clans, one on their mother's side and one on their father's. Wealth is passed down from mother to daughter, but men own the children. So everyone has long-ranging ties with a broad family network that can be relied upon when times are tough. And in marriage, there is little room for love in this hard land. This woman was widowed 5 years ago and is brought to the village to find a new husband. She has children already, but she is fertile. It's a good prospect. Finding a new spouse won't be hard. But she will not choose her new husband. That will be decided by the village elders, and she will marry the man they feel can provide for her and her children. Eligible men will engage in a serious bidding war. The man able to offer the most cattle will win himself a good bride. The strong family connections that are the glue in Himba society continue after death. It is believed that deceased ancestors remain with the family for 2 generations. And it is in honor of their ancestors that these eligible Himba women crawl in the dust. A holy fire, located in the most easterly part of a homestead, is a point of contact between the living and the dead. It's the place where this new baby is introduced to her ancestors, and where the spirits of those who came before live on. Namibia's red ochre soil defines the Himba people. They anoint themselves with it, and when they die, they are buried within it. Dust to dust. Life here faces a constant battle against aridity. And yet, heading west, the Namib's dry dunes are banked up against more water than the Himba could ever need. But it's a case of water everywhere, and not a drop to drink. The Namib Desert runs into the Atlantic Ocean. Here, the ever-moving sands are constantly blown towards the sea and washed up on beaches. This continually builds land where there was once sea. Known as the Skeleton Coast, it is littered with over 1,000 shipwrecks, some stranded as much as 50 meters inland. They're slowly swallowed by the desert. As the coastline pushes seawards, the wrecks are found further and further away from the ocean that brought them there. But the Skeleton Coast also harbors life. The largest breeding colony of Cape fur seals in the world. Over 100,000 animals crowd together along just 400 meters of coastline. The seals gather here to feast on the plentiful food provided by the sea. The Benguela Current is a broad, northwards flowing ocean current that hugs the Namibian coastline. It is the source of some of the richest coastal waters on Earth. The southeasterly trade winds that drive the current cause cold, nutrient-rich waters to well up from the deep. They, in turn, fuel high rates of plankton growth, the basis for a bountiful food chain. Ideal conditions to bring a new generation of seal pups into the world. Around October, the breeding season is in full swing. Bulls, true heavyweights at up to 360 kilos, haul out to claim territories. They start fierce fights over ownership of the best patch. Chest-to-chest combat, pushing and biting are all part of the battle. The females want to share the male's territory. They'll select a bull to breed with, based on the quality of his piece of the beach. When the females join the males at the colony, they're already pregnant. And once they've given birth, they'll need all the protection they can get. In return, they will mate with their bodyguard. In late November and early December, newborn pups add to the chaos of the already overcrowded colony. Their births are synchronized to coincide within just a single month. There are now so many animals that it's easy for a young pup to get separated from its mother. They have to find and identify their cubs by sound and smell amongst thousands of other youngsters. This pup is desperately calling for its mother and anxiously looks for her in the vast colony. But all these seals crammed together create such a noise that its calls are drowned out. This mother knows straight away this isn't the right pup. A brief sniff, and the baby is rejected. Adoption is rare in the seal world. Predators patrol the colony, looking for easy pickings. For them, all these defenseless young pups are welcome snacks. Just one unwary moment. And it's too late for another unfortunate baby seal. Eventually, the lost pup searching for its mother is in luck. It finds her in the colony's chaos and escapes the greedy attentions of the jackals, this time. Predators and scavengers are an ever-present threat. In this hard land, the seal colony is an indispensable source of food. Without it, prey would be hard to come by. It's the Benguela Current that's responsible for the rich waters here. But it also causes the low rainfall in the Namib. The cold ocean current cools the air, which is overlain by the hot desert winds. This stops cloud formation. As a result, less than 10 millimeters of rain fall each year. Yet against all the odds, some life has found a way to exist here. But how is this possible? Once again, Namibia has the Benguela Current to thank. Every morning, when dry heat rising from the desert sands meets with the air over the cold Benguela Current, a thick blanket of fog rolls in from the sea and envelops the dunes. This fog supplies enough moisture to allow some specially adapted organisms to survive. The palmetto gecko licks the condensed water off its own face. Despite its fragile appearance, this gecko is made for life in the desert. Its webbed feet are designed to run across the constantly moving fine sands of the dunes and help burrow into it to avoid the heat of the day. Another unique dune predator is the sidewinding adder. Its bizarre way of moving sideways across the scorching sand means that only 2 or 3 small parts of its body are in contact with the blistering dune surface at any time. It's a hunter and hides in the sand to catch its prey by surprise. A lizard is a succulent snack. A lethal cocktail of toxins delivered in its bite means the sidewinder can enjoy its meal in peace. Long-legged beetles leave telltale tracks on the dunes. Dashing along the dune faces, this beetle creates extra drafts over its body that lower its temperature by up to 10 degrees Celsius. But it must keep running. Standing still for too long would mean death by overheating. This small beetle is the only land animal on Earth able to cool down by exercising. But these endless runs also expose the beetle to predators. This namaqua chameleon prowls the dunes in search of bite-sized morsels. Beetles are ideal. It has a bizarre secret weapon. A long, projectile tongue that acts like a wet suction cup. The tongue shoots out at high speed, hitting the beetle at 20 kilometers per hour. But the chameleon also has to avoid overheating, which it does by changing its color. Turning black absorbs more heat to help combat the morning chill. And in the heat of the day, it changes to pale gray to reflect light and keep the chameleon cool. The plants here, too, are exceptional. Like everything else in Namibia, Welwitschia plants are ancient and look bizarre. Individuals can live for thousands of years. Even to reproduce, they must be at least 100 years old. Each plant has only 2 permanent leaves that continue to grow throughout its life. They become tattered and ripped with age. The landscape here has also suffered the rigors of time. Etched into the ancient rocks are clues to a very different age. 250 million years ago, Namibia still formed part of the ancient supercontinent of Gondwanaland and was beginning to emerge from a great ice age. A big thaw caused huge floods to rush across the land, snapping any trees in their path. Quickly buried under a deep layer of sand and mud, they were sealed in an airtight grave for millions of years. As water and wind gradually wore down the thick deposits, the tree trunks emerged once again from the earth. This time, they'd been turned to stone. Witnesses of a bygone age when this landscape was awash with water. Eventually, the climate settled down, until 10,000 years ago, when Namibia, like the rest of the world, was emerging from another ice age. Many large mammals died out, partly due to the changing environment, but also because early humans had already begun to overhunt. Available prey for cheetahs dropped dramatically. And in turn, their numbers fell drastically to only about 500 survivors. Despite this near disaster, the cheetah population did recover. But their numbers had been so reduced that today's population still suffers from a high level of inbreeding. Now cheetahs are again vulnerable and classed as a protected species in Namibia, a land where they were once considered sacred. The images of many animals are found amongst a group of over 1,000 paintings scattered around the rock shelters and caves of the Brandberg Massif. These mighty mountains rise from the flat gravel plains north of the Namib Desert. They're a relic from a time when volcanoes ruled this land, around 120 million years ago. Some of these rock paintings were created 2,000 years ago by Bushmen. They include pictures of shamans performing ritual dances, in which people take on the spirit of a particular animal, thought to have special powers, such as the cheetah, who was thought to be able to conquer evil and heal sickness, while the oryx was believed to bring rain. Bushman culture is still full of rituals and stories of shamans and healers, able to make rain and change themselves into powerful animals, just like those shown in the ancient Brandberg paintings. The trance dance is one of the oldest known human rituals, and it's still practiced today. It is a healing ceremony performed at night around the village fire. The healer, or shaman, dances until he reaches a state of trance. It is thought to let him see the illness inside a person's body. He leaves his body during the trance to meet with the dead on the other side. The healer is believed to see if the patient is curable. And can snatch the sickness from the body during his trance. Even today, many Bushmen still believe in these age-old rituals and prefer a traditional healer to modern medical care. Bushmen are thought to be the oldest community of people on Earth, dating back at least 35,000 years. Genetically, they're the most direct line to our earliest, truly human ancestors. Today, they live scattered through much of Namibia, divided into different groups. But they all have one thing in common. They know this land better than anyone else. A wealth of knowledge passed down through millennia allow the Bushmen to survive in this harsh place. They're able to hunt and gather all they need to live here, in spite of the extremes of the Namibian landscape. Bushmen live to a seasonal calendar of available foods. Around Etosha National Park in the north of Namibia, the end of the rains from March onwards signals the start of the ostrich mating season. Plenty of fresh eggs can be found. To the Bushmen, it signals the start of a new year. The protein-rich eggs are a valuable food reserved for the elders of the clan. Nothing goes to waste. And even the eggshells are used as water containers or to make delicate beads for necklaces. This is the very essence of Bushman life. Everything they hunt and gather is put to good use, making the most of Namibia's limited resources. The area around Etosha has long been Bushman country. A Bushman legend tells of a village that was raided and everyone but the women slaughtered. One woman was so distraught by the death of her family that she cried until her tears formed a massive lake. When the lake dried up, all that was left was a huge white salt pan. Etosha means Great White Place and is dominated by a massive silvery white hollow mineral pan surrounded by grasslands and bush. The pan forms part of the Kalahari Basin, formed around 1,000 million years ago. It is a large, dusty depression of salt clay. For most of the year, it is dry, desolate, and inhospitable. But during the rainy season, from December to March, it is transformed into a lush wildlife oasis. After weeks of heavy rain, the pan holds water again and attracts a large concentration of wildlife. Springbok feast on the fresh new buds, making the most of this passing luxury. These antelope can jump as high as 2 meters. It's essential to outmaneuver predators, but in this case, they're showing off to attract a mate. To secure a mate, they must also win territory to entice the females. Fierce battles are inevitable. These fights can be so serious, they can result in death. But more often, they're just full of threat and warning. For most residents, the breeding season triggered by the rains is a time of exuberance and courtship. For once, one of Namibia's extreme environments provides a fleeting feast for all that live here. The abundance of prey also attracts predators, including Namibia's most iconic hunter, the cheetah. This mother needs to feed her two growing cubs. Although they're already quite big, these youngsters are still completely dependent on their mother for food. This is a full-time job. And an easy kill is essential to her cub's survival. For now, her playful cubs don't know how to hunt for themselves. They're more interested in exploring their surroundings. But their mother is single-minded. She has to kill to feed her young. Part of the skill is in selecting the right target. A failed hunt is a waste of precious energy. She spots a group of gazelles. As long as she can get close enough, her superior speed will give her the upper hand in a chase. Her spotted coat helps to break out the outline of her body in the tall grass, while her two cubs stay safely behind. Their inexperience could give the game away. She mirrors the fleeing animal's every move, waiting for the chance to take it down. She must kill quickly, because she can't sustain a chase over 300 meters without overheating dangerously. Fortunately for her family, she's successful this time. But over half her hunts end in failure. They have to make the most of their meal before other predators are attracted to the carcass and chase the family off their hard-earned kill. But growing cubs are always hungry, and their mother will have to hunt again soon. Life can be as brutal for those that live in Etosha as it is for those who live in Namibia's other deserts. But where there's a desert, there can be an oasis. And the Namib hides a surprising one. The expanse of the dry, sandy dunes is bordered to the east by the Naukluft Mountains. They were formed over 600 million years ago, when most of southern Namibia was submerged below a warm, shallow sea. The climate was much wetter than today, and rainwater slowly dissolved the soluble bedrock, creating large underground caverns. Today, the sparse rains that fall during the summer months from February to April percolate through the rocks. The water eventually reaches these extensive underground caves, where it is stored. Slowly, this precious resource is released into springs and crystal-clear pools, providing a surprising oasis in this otherwise hot and parched mountain range. It turns these rugged rocks into an unlikely wildlife haven. Chakma baboons rule the slopes. Having access to fresh water is a luxury for these large monkeys. They're adapted to extreme climates and can deal with massive daily body temperature fluctuations of up to 6 degrees Celsius, enough to kill a human. And being able to go for days without drinking means they can cope with extended periods of drought. In the Naukluft Mountains, they roam the area in large family groups, searching for grass, fruit, and insects. The bizarre geographic history of this area has tipped the odds in favor of the baboons by providing fresh water right in the heart of the surrounding desert. Namibia's wildlife is proof that life will find a way to survive against all odds. And it's this ability to survive in the face of adversity that defines this country's wildlife and people. As the sands of time are shaped and shifted by the eternal winds, life manages to cling on in this very ancient, arid land. Namibia's dry landscapes have borne witness to millennia of natural dramas. Despite being one of the most hostile places in the world, life has found ways to adapt to these extremes. It's this exceptional adaptability that will secure the future of those that live here for thousands of years to come.